Welcome back, my family, to another episode of EastEnders Weekly, presented by me, Ben, the main host and the most popular host.
On what poll?
Well, I'm the only host, so therefore I'm the most popular. And you are the most popular co-host.
Oh, okay. You dug yourself out of that hole. Yeah, fair enough. I am the most popular co-host of this podcast. My name's Alex.
I wasn't going to say that, but you looked upset.
Well, I was a bit upset that you seem to think that people favour you over me. I feel like people need to shout out and let us know. Who's your favourite presenter on the podcast?
Who won the podcast? That's what we should do.
Yeah, we should. Each week. And then do a big tally at the end of the year.
We are here to discuss the episodes of EastEnders that were broadcast between the 30th of September and the 4th of October. And what are we?
We are officially unofficial podcast for the soap EastEnders.
Mm-hmm. Richie checks it over. Gray double checks it for us. Mm-hmm.
She leaves little post-it notes with arrows pointing where we can sign to declare that we are officially unofficial.
And we had a few new characters this week.
Just a few.
Two snuck in at the last 10 minutes this week.
And
Dottie returned, so she counts as a new character. Who's your favourite out of the three?
Oh, Dottie.
Yeah, it's not me. It's a bit unfair.
Yeah,
what about the two brothers?
I have things to say about the two brothers, but I shall keep that to when
Does
we
it involve
do our chat.
eye bulging?
It involves one of them being not what I thought they were going to be by their promo photo, and then being so hammy at what they were trying to be that it didn't...
June Brown's shaking.
Yeah, she is shook. But Dottie was exactly what I expected her to be for her beginning.
I like Dottie. She was
But I think
cool
we should
kid.
Call her Dottie.
We have to stop that.
It's Kirsty, and I think they've deliberately made a point of them saying her name as Kirsty.
Although her cast card has Dottie, so that doesn't help.
I don't think that will last for long. I think they really want to swerve away from her past of being, all right, Grandma. Dottie.
She did say that 3 times, though.
Yeah, but not in the same kind of
She's like,
tone.
all right, Grandma.
Grandma, I'm a vegan.
Give me a fan.
Have a snake bite, please.
Yeah, vegan. Someone said it was the first vegan EastEnders. I'm here to fact check that. She was not.
Oh, who was?
Libby, obviously.
Oh, of course she was.
But there you go.
Good.
She's the second vegan.
Good. We need more vegans.
And both vegans in university, so there's a little hint.
Something about vegan. Yes, it's because they're eating only beans. All the meats aren't corrupting their mind. Exactly. Before we start, though, with our chat about EastEnders, which we kind of already have, but we'd like to do a shout-out of the week. Every week we like to do a shout-out. If you'd like us to shout you out, as it were. It makes it sound like I'm going to go off someone's face and just shout in their face.
We're going to the square and shout at you.
Yeah, we're going to shout at you. Just find us on Twitter or on Instagram, or email us, eastendersweekly@gmail.com. I won't go through all the socials. I've been told off that I'm doing it too much. So I'll leave it to the end of the episode.
You ate my shout out.
Oh,
go on.
Yes,
she is.
You're my shout out. I don't know how to reply.
That. No.
You're my mother shout out. Mother shout out. I don't know. Anyway, our shout out of the week is going to Katie Phipps on Twitter, who has become quite a fan of the show, and we love her too. She listens.
Ballum fan.
Who isn't a Ballum fan?
That's true.
I mean, you're outnumbered now. If you
Ballum stan.
If you don't love Ballum, there's a great article actually. I think it was on
Digital Spy.
Digital Spy.
I didn't read it, but I did see it.
Yeah, they said that the Ballum story is like the big story of 2019. It's like
it's number 1 trending, like hashtag used in 2019.
Well done.
I've used it a lot.
We have used it a lot for publicity purposes. Katie Phipps listens to the podcast at work. Presumably when she tweets us, she's doing a cheeky little tweet while she's at work. I don't know if she works in retail. Maybe she does it under the desk.
How naughty.
Or in her office, or on the factory floor. I don't know. I don't want to presume her line of work.
She might work on EastEnders.
Oh, yeah. Maybe she could send us a few cheeky pics of what's going on the set. And she's been working her way through our episodes. She's a glutton for punishment. She's basically listening to all of our episodes in reverse order.
That's the worst way, because they get worse as you go down.
I mean, I remember we had this chat before. Like, it's probably advisory not to listen to episode 1. It is.
I'm going to block off the first 10 episodes soon, I think.
No. Well,
we'll keep them there for history.
I think they need to be kept there for just to remind us of how very bad we were. Not that we're any better now, to be fair. It's a matter of opinion that we've improved. And and she's. I'd be interested to know what is her favourite episode so far, or her favourite moment of our podcast. So get back in touch to us, Katie. We'd be very interested. And you are our shout out of the week. And if you'd like to be our shout out of the week, as I say, just get in touch with us on the normal communication tools. There are Twitter at EastEnders Week, Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast,
cool.
Our Facebook group, search EastEnders Weekly Podcast, and then click to join us.
Yeah.
or email eastendersweekly@gmail.com, or you can also find us on the YouTube channel. Again, just search EastEnders Weekly Podcast.
P.O. Box? Not yet.
No.
Bit public.
Carrier pigeon, we've discussed that. And
Telegram.
Yeah. And that's it.
Let's start our discussion of the week. And we are starting with Jean and Daniel's love story.
Yeah, who'd have funked it, eh?
Well, we all thought this was happening, and then we thought maybe it's not happening because he's about to die, and there's not enough time for it to happen. They've kind of shoehorned it in the end there with a little bit of a kiss over a basket.
It kind of over a fishy basket. It was quite an uncomfortable kiss, but I was not as uncomfortable as when we discovered that her sausage surprise wasn't as popular as she once thought.
I know, but Stacey and Martin weren't there to counteract it, or the kids. Might be a kids meal.
Well, she was cooking a kids meal later. It was like in that house everything's in reverse. So instead of the kids eating first and then when they've gone to bed the adults ate afterwards, this time the adults ate before the kids.
Because she has to cater for Big Mo, you see. OAP.
Yeah, but Big Mo was moaning about it as well.
Well, it changes every time, because last time we saw it when she made it for Hayley and all the lot, there were loads of beans in it, and it was in like a glass. It seemed
much redder this time.
Yeah.
I'm presuming a tin of tomatoes might have been used this time, just to kind of water it down, just to give more portions, because maybe she wasn't expecting Daniel and Mo to be there for the meal. Maybe she was only expecting Kat and Kush to be there, for her to viciously throw looks at Kat, because she's really blaming Kat for the fact that Stacey's still not there. And every time the mention of Martin might be coming to see Bex.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, she was like, Martin's coming, and by association she instantly thought, oh, so Stacey must be coming too. And yeah, so she still hasn't really forgiven Kat for the whole incident that happened a couple of months ago.
And we also had like developments on Daniel's storyline, because we know he hasn't got long to live. He's refusing treatment. So Jean's, she did the bucket list was it last year? No, it was this year. Earlier in the year with Shirley's suggestion.
When she climbed the O2 with the bad audio.
Yes. Yeah, that bucket list kind of went quiet, didn't it? Well, she done it. That was it.
No, yeah. I guess
and
it
nothing
must have
left in
been
her.
it. But she went to the caravan and...
She met Sean and went on the O2.
Yeah, and the O2. Oh, gosh.
Oh, her bucket list done then.
Tick,
that was
tick,
easy.
Yeah, easy.
But so she's going to pass on the list and then help Daniel. But he's not really bothered, really. He just wants to settle down and die quiet.
His list seems to be more revenge more than anything else. Basically, he wants to go out of his way to really let
upset
people
someone.
know. Yeah, to let people know.
To be fair.
You do it anyway. You don't need to be dying to upset people. You just exist to upset people.
It's a bit more fun, isn't it, for him?
And for you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so he wants to stay at home, watch a bit of snooker, and have a bit of a kip, which is fine. We all like that. We all enjoy it. But not when you're dying. So Jean's trying to deliberately push him into going down the route of perhaps you could rekindle a friendship by not ruining it by saying that his now wife is basically cast aspersions about his wife of deliberately
like
trying
she
to
came
kiss
onto
her.
him and his friend and him broke up their friendship because he thought Daniel came onto her, and it just ended up. It was a bit of like enough. Again, all of Daniel's stories are just a bit of nothing storylines to me.
Yeah,
like they just sort of happen, and I kind of watch them, but don't really get invested in him.
I think it's a bit of a shame that they've done very little to build up Daniel, because there is a real opportunity. It's just a shame that there's other stories that have kind of occupied. I think if this had been a story a year or 2 years ago,
we had weeks of it.
Oh goodness, yeah, we would have not seen enough of Daniel. It would just be endless Daniel, and we'd be saying right now on the podcast, "Oh God, I wish they'd just get rid of Daniel now. It's in about time he kicked the bucket by now." But because
it feels like we barely know him. It's a bit like Bailey's mum. Like, she just died, but we didn't really know her. But you felt sorry for her, and it was an interesting story. And the same with him. They're just sort of like, he's dying, and now he loves Jean, and now that's it.
But I don't think it's going to have the same kind of linger as Bailey's mum, Dina. I've been told off. It's Dina, isn't it?
I don't know. I refuse to say it.
Oh, no, I've forgotten now. But it's not Dina, it's Dina, I'm sure. But
Diana.
Yeah, dirty Diana. But she had died, and really her story is still there. It's echoing, because I think it's going to be talked about again next week. Exactly. Well, with Daniel, I can't see that really being the same effect.
No, I did have a think, like, maybe they're not getting them together. Maybe her meeting his friend is going to be some weird link. Like, his friend will be a thing for Jean, but obviously that's not going to happen either. And then he announced that he likes her a lot this week. So we kind of predicted that they were going to have this tragic end where they were going to get together and maybe he'll propose to her on his deathbed before he dies. But there doesn't seem to be enough time for that now. They seem to have missed their chance. Yeah,
I think so. But I think it's going to just really end with Jean being there when he dies, because she's the only one who seems to understand him. Like when he was at the doctor's.
Yeah, put up with him. Although Mo seems to like him.
Yeah, because he's a bit mischievous, so she's on the same wavelength.
She might steal Jean's man.
No, I don't think Mo's ever would fall to that standard. Don't forget, Mo has faked her own death, so
true.
maybe she feels the same she feels the same way.
She's been in that box.
Yeah, exactly. She knows what it's like to be in a coffin, and so she's just encouraging Daniel to feel the same way.
But a big question as well: what is the fishy basket? Is it like fried fish?
What, like
in a basket?
What kind of fish though? Cod?
Probably.
Hake?
Something basic.
Haddock? Cod's not basic. It's quite a meaty fish.
Maybe it's quite normal.
Pilchard. Maybe it's just a couple of sardines thrown into one of those paper baskets you used to get at the holiday camps.
I mean, they have outused the sausage surprise line this year, so I'm guessing they've got their new one now.
What, fishy basket?
Yeah.
Gosh, I hope not. But, well, I'm presuming this is also an excuse to just kind of forget about the sausage surprise. I think...
now the secret's out.
Yeah, even Sen or Oates have had enough, and they're just like, no, we're not. This isn't funny anymore.
No, Jean's matured now. She's on a new level.
Shouting
character.
Sausage surprise isn't going to be.
No, it's not it.
Funny. Although I think the actress will shout that line to her death.
Shall we move on and have a little chat about Whitney's mini storyline this week? She came back from her honeymoon.
Yeah, and Always Forgiven with her and Callum, which is nice.
I do. I'm really happy how they've done that. We were very vocal how we wanted this doing like 8 months ago, and it's exactly how we like planned it out. So that's good. It's exactly what we wanted.
Yes, thank you for giving us exactly what we wanted. But no, it is.
Her accepting it, being upset when it all came out, but going off thinking about it and actually saying to him, "I'm glad you're happy," and she's there supporting him.
Yeah, we didn't want a horrible, bitter relationship where they kind of don't look at each other in the square and when
typical
they walk past.
soap.
Yeah, we wanted them to just kind of understand that they both did love each other. Let's make this clear, and they did. They did.
And they still do.
Exactly, and their love is obviously not the same.
It's not sexual.
It wasn't sexual.
There's no
It wasn't the same way. Although they did enjoy a box set together, and Callum was ultimately very disappointed that she finished the box set without
What
him.
it was? Desperate Housewives, Sex and the City. The signs were there all along, Whitney. Callum was like, can we watch Sex and the City with?
Yeah,
he's not gay.
I really want to see what Carrie's been up to.
What RuPaul's Drag Race? I love it.
Oh, Mr. Big, you're so dirty.
No, Callum's not gay. What are you talking about? There's no sign. So it's nice that they're friends and they're supporting each other. And she's obviously moved on and got her new man straight away, who's Leo, who we know about, but obviously she doesn't. And she's keeping him kind of secret from everyone, so no one can find out the secret.
But I know, it makes sense because she's just broken up from Callum.
It's a bit soon.
So it is a bit soon. But she did kind of reveal...
She would call a slag.
Well, yeah, she did reveal a little bit that she let her armour down a little bit when it was revealed that she got a text message, and I think
from a boy.
Yeah, Mel said, "I've seen a really gravelly voice." Mel's got at the moment. I've seen that voice face before, and that's the face of someone who's had a man text her. But Whitney obviously didn't say anything. She just kind of smiled and went, "No, stop it."
Yeah, secret.
Yeah,
but she met him in E20.
Shared a cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
They both like the same cocktail because he's been doing his research.
Yeah, so he's like
looking
researching.
on her Instagram.
Where she literally put a thing. My favourite drink is this.
Yeah, I know. It's like she just literally filled in a form of all her things.
For stalkers.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like doing research on her, I guess, and trying to like win her over and know the things she likes and say the right things to her too. Although we don't know what his end goal is here.
Well, it's to upset Bianca, which is...
Or to get her to admit she was lying about his dad.
Oh yeah, that's true, because she was the piece,
he doesn't believe that she was telling the truth.
I mean, it's going to rake up some really dark, horrible history for Whitney, which is going to be a huge shame. Which it seems a bit unfair that Whitney's been given this horrible...
Oh, she's gone straight into it,
yeah, straight into a horrible, nasty story that's obviously going to develop into something just not very nice at all. And Callum's been given this positive, uplifting story. Yeah,
fluffy.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
very
Callum will be the one who will like save Whitney like in a year, like from Leo or something. Maybe he'll be the one to like notice or help her.
I think it'll be a team effort. I think it'll be a bit of Callum, a bit of
Chantel.
No, I think a bit of Tiff.
A text from Lauren from New Zealand, maybe. Her BFF who didn't go to the wedding.
Maybe. Video message from Lauren. She'll just hang up. I would. Oh, it's Lauren. Oh, she'll wait.
But I don't know how Leo will ever like sort of bring up Tony King. I don't know how he's going to plan to do that. Like, he saw a news article. I don't know what his plan is for her.
Because Tony has died, hasn't he?
Yes.
Tony's
died.
We
believe he has, of a heart attack in prison.
Okay, so maybe something will get brought up in the Walford press, and they'll be in like
like an anniversary or something.
Something, just something that Tony related. So, and it'll be seen in the newspaper, and that will bring some of Whitney's feelings back up.
Oh, she'll see a headline like "young girl abused" or something. She'll be like, "Oh, it reminds me of what happened to me," and she gets upset. And he's like, "Why are you upset? Tell me."
Yeah,
something like that.
But
maybe.
This is why I think Tiff is going to have a bit of a part in this as well, because
but Tiff knows him.
Yeah, I know.
So it's tricky.
It's just getting. It seems so mad that they introduced him to Tiff first of all. It seems really weird.
Really loads of blocks on believability of the storyline.
Well, and how they're gonna expand it, because how is Tiff gonna? Because I want Tiff to be almost the life saver for Whitney. I want them to have that relationship together, because they, Tiff has had a very similar experience at the similar kind of age as what Whitney had when she was younger, and it's a shame that they've not really done much about that. Nothing's been talked about between them. It's always been with Uncle Jack.
Yeah, their sister relationship's not being really looked into properly.
Not the biggest bond.
No. So enough about her. Let's talk about the better
Kick her
half.
to the curb.
Just like Callum did. And we're going to talk about the lovely Callum and Ben storyline, which brought warmth to everyone's hearts this week. Brought everyone together, the nation together.
It really did. We
need
something to bond over in this nation.
The whole world was holding hands in the shape of Ballum around the world.
And a peace sign.
See it from space.
Oh, nice.
So Ben was horrible to Callum as usual, putting him off his dates, and Stuart was interrupting again.
I was going to say, it wasn't entirely Ben's fault for why he did this at the beginning of the week. He was influenced slightly, majorly, by Stuart, and a little bit by Jay.
And Ian had a little dig to his brother about
that's
him
right,
using
he said
men.
He couldn't settle. He couldn't settle the number of men going out the door.
Coming from Ian, that's a real kick in the teeth.
Well, Ian's not had many men, but he's had lots of women.
That's true, that we know of yet. Could be a storyline.
What, of men?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Not everyone can come out. Every week you say, someone else can come out.
Remember that? Karen did.
But Karen's a real ambassador for the LGBT.
I know, I loved her fist pump.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, when he came out.
Keanu looked away.
Yeah, well,
not impressed. So they had like on and off, like Ross and Rachel from Friends. If anyone's old enough to recognise that.
Which
reference.
one's Rachel? Callum.
Oh yeah,
Callum's Rachel.
No, Callum's Ross, a bit geeky.
So Ben's the one with the haircut. Then he's got the iconic Rachel look.
And they did eventually go on a date, but like Jay and Lola turned up because Ben didn't want to be there on it.
Well, Ben invited him.
Yeah, he wanted them to be put off because of what Stuart said to him.
Well, yeah, because Stuart said that Ben will ruin Callum because Callum's quite sweet. Bet
Callum can't wait.
If he hasn't already, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And Ben, because Callum's very innocent, very sweet.
Baby.
A baby, some might say. A baby gay.
It was nice that Lola was half likeable for this week.
I enjoyed Lola this week.
Did enjoy her.
I'm not expecting to stay that way, but I didn't mind her.
She was all right.
She was there for a reason. She wasn't annoying, apart from when that guy walked into her and it was... No, sorry. She walked into him, but it was instantly his fault.
And then he looked up Ben and was like, it's all right.
Yeah.
I have a piece of him.
Yeah, and he did have a piece of him. Because part of Ben's tactic was to basically show Callum that he didn't care for him by making out with another boy.
While that song was playing, Dancing on My Own.
I know.
Over there in the corner, watching you kiss her. It's literally what was happening in front of Callum's heart, like slowly breaking.
I mean, Callum's soundtrack to his life was playing as it was happening throughout the week. Like when he walked away as well, when they played Jess Glynn.
Or when he was happy and coming out. Yeah, and they were also playing Dancing Queen as well, weren't they? In the middle of it all.
Oh no, that was a darker moment.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't a happy moment.
That was Sonia on. Sorry, I'm getting all my LGBT queens mixed up.
Having the time of her life. Dig it, the Dancing Queen.
But yeah, Jono was back as well, which I don't want to see. He's so horrible. Like the second he was back, I remembered like, oh yeah, I remember how horrible you are.
Good actor though, well portrayed. He's really good.
He takes on their characteristics really well.
Yeah, he looks like Stuart as well. He looks like Stuart looks like him. It's really well cast.
It was, and he's just all out villain, isn't he? Really?
Yeah.
Like, he's a bit like Nasty Nick. Turns up, ruffles all the feathers, gets thrown out of the square, don't come back.
I mean, with the way he got thrown out though, so
I kind of wanted Whitney to punch him after she threatened about her like right hook.
I just always think every time Whitney threatens someone, I just always remember that scene when she leant over that man and showed her claws, like her nails to the guy up to his neck.
Oh yeah,
so she's going to cut the throat of this guy.
She should have said that to John, and she like took out her hoop earrings, take off her false nails, tie her hair up in a big high ponytail. Come on then, Jono.
Want some?
That's what she should have
Jeremy
done.
Kyle might not be on TV anymore, but I'm ready to slog it out with the best of them.
But Phil steps in for his son, which was good for Phil.
It was excellent for Phil.
Any excuse to punch someone, I guess, in the Vic, but
I mean,
He has
Phil's
good
really
heart.
stepping up. If you think again, if you go back 2 years ago,
2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago, but like a few years, like a year or so back, we were talking about how basically they're retiring Phil, how he's becoming the old man.
The Godfather years.
The Godfather
2016, 17.
But now he's getting really involved again. And I actually, watching the old classic EastEnders and seeing how Phil used to be.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of rekindled. Not dishy.
He was.
But
he looks like Keanu, which is doing all sorts of things.
Which is a bit odd, isn't it? We still don't know whether him and Karen ever had that night, that fateful night. I mean, when he was drinking...
It turns out that Keanu is Phil's son.
But after all...
Anyway, back to Phil and your
and his smack.
of him.
That smack! Oh, my goodness, I felt it. My jaw ached after that.
We were all behind him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why it was just so powerful, because we were all behind that punch with him. So he had the strength of millions of people all cheering him on to smack him in the face.
Kush was there as well, like nearly punching, but not staying back.
But we seen Kush have a fight with Martin a few weeks back, and we know that they're not...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
They're lovers, not fighters.
They were doing like wrestling, weren't they? And they were taking Oh, God.
And also Kush has a heart condition. Let's not forget this, because we were reminded this week because of it.
That was so weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like, you've had a heart condition, Kush.
Yeah. We only said like the other day, because I was watching bits about Carmel, that they hadn't mentioned the heart condition in ages, and he just randomly says it. Very odd.
It just came out of the blue. That's what made it so bizarre. And it didn't really have any reference to anything other than there's like, oh, Gene, you almost...
Don't scare me.
Yeah, don't scare me. I've got a heart condition.
Well, you know they're referencing it, so it's probably...
It's going to happen.
Something's going to happen to him. Probably Halloween, someone will scare him.
I mean, I'm quite looking forward to Halloween. It seems to be building up to something...
I love Halloween.
Yeah, I love Halloween week too. But
My favourite one was when Abby was following Laura.
They ran
didn't
away.
know it was her. And they tried to drown each other and punch.
Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah, that was not Lauren's. That was Abby's Halloween party. No one turned up to. Poor Abby. She had such a horrible time at that square.
What's Ben and Callum going to dress up as for Halloween?
I don't know.
Ben probably a vampire, and Callum a victim.
Yeah, just 2 little puncture wounds in his neck. I mean, Whitney will probably dress up as a cat.
Oh yeah. No, we've seen her outfit on the trailer, haven't we?
I can't remember.
Or kind of like some puffy thing. She probably made it herself.
What was to sell on a stall the next day? Only worn once.
Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves for Halloween. We need to talk about, because after the punch, that wasn't the end of Callum's journey.
No.
It feels like it's kind of bookended his coming out-ness. Because the way they filmed it, at the end when he stood up to his dad and the whole square were behind him.
Yeah, which was weird, because then they was like, oh, no one saw anything. What punch? But then later on in the week, which we'll talk about later, it gets brought up again. So that plan didn't really work.
It was a bit stupid of Whitney. Like, he can still report it, Whitney. Just because you say you didn't see anything doesn't mean it didn't happen.
There's no witnesses. However, the evidence.
I mean, there was a shooting in that pub last week, so anything could be.
I'm surprised that pub hasn't been shut down. I mean, I've known pubs near to where I live, and worse things have happened than that, and the pub's been shut down.
Well, Linda's friends don't want to go there, so it's not got a good rep.
Well, no, because there's E20 down the road. Much better, much classier joint.
And then we had the scene of when he actually did come out. He kissed Ben in front of everyone on his terms as well.
Yeah, which woo.
Because Ben was like, "Oh, you can't kiss me unless you've had one drink, one sip, and you get all flirty."
He said, "I'll show you a sip."
But no, he said, actually, screw you, Ben, literally. I'll do it when I want to do it, and I'll do it now outside the Vic.
And then he was like, oh, I better go on that date then. And Callum was like, yeah, I'll text you.
Who said it was you?
Yeah, walked off strutting.
Give a little text to Tubbs.
Yeah.
Saw you talking to Ben, hot.
Yeah, winky face emoji.
Yeah, he had background music playing for him. He had slightly slow motion, all happy. They copied the scene from when I Smell Queer bit when he was heartbroken walking around the square all crying.
Yep.
Same shots, but
smiling.
different outcome. Yes.
I know.
So it's all happened, he's accepted it all.
Someone cut together a video, didn't they? And they did a side-by-side comparison of that. I forget who it was now, but I think we retweeted it. So if you check out our Twitter and just scroll down our timeline, you'll soon find it.
Yeah, very nice. And that was the last we saw of Callum. That's all we need to see of him this week, I feel. I mean, he's a gay man now.
He's a gay.
I can say it.
He's a gay man now, Mum. So we're happy. So, but I mean, they've taken Callum's happiness and just kind of thought, well, fair enough, but you're not going to be happy for long because Ben's getting himself into a bit of trouble.
Well, another storyline, yeah. Like every storyline is around Ben.
I mean, it is building up quite nicely to your prediction of who shot Ben.
It is, because literally everyone's been beating him up. Every single character is involved with him, and now the 3 new brothers, their introduction storyline is about Ben.
Well, we only saw 2 brothers.
Yeah, but they're all going to be involved with Ben. Everyone is. Everyone's punched him. Everyone's beaten him up. Everyone's threatened him.
Everyone hates him.
Yeah. So he's doing loan sharking with Tubbs because Karen wanted to get a loan out for some reason.
Yeah, no, Karen's short on money.
Or is it just general money, not an actual reason?
Yeah, she's just short on money, and she has a history of taking out loans. So this makes it a bit trickier because she had a real bad history of it. When she was first introduced, she took out a big loan.
Oh yeah, because Keanu kept trying to protect her, didn't he?
Yeah, and there were lots of people stealing her stuff, and I think that's when they ended up having to sleep on the Arthur's bench and stealing it as well.
Oh yeah,
taking up. I know. But so she's doing deals with Tubbs, in the gardens, just a few cheeky quid here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But then she gets the money and she starts splashing it out.
Like sausage rolls and beer.
Yeah, useless things. It's not necessary. But Ben's taking a bit of a invested interest in this one because obviously he's got that vendetta between him and Keanu.
But they're kind of on good terms.
They're on good terms, but it's really not. It's not settled really. It's still simmering in the background. And so I think this is another reason for Ben to be hated because now Keanu's got a reason if he then brings
his mum in trouble.
Exactly. So he's getting his mum in trouble.
And then Jags and Karat have a vendetta because he's been like showing off this new car he's gotten. Yeah, but he's been like picking these sunglasses apart, trying to take someone's name off of it. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that he's messed with the wrong family this time.
Well, that's what Karat has said.
Someone who's even more broody than Ben.
Yeah. I mean, they let themselves into Ben's, Ian's house, and threatened him. But this is where my
lucky Kathy wasn't there. She would have called the police.
She called the police on the drop of a hat.
Yeah,
especially because she did
terrorists here.
Yeah, exactly.
Strange men in my house.
So let's go on to Karat and Jags then, because Karat. No problem with him.
The tall one. Sexy one.
Nice linen suit. No socks. I noticed that.
Oh, didn't he?
No, just shoes. Just a
loafers.
Pair of loafers, yeah. M&S. 60 quid. Got money.
Beautiful.
Got money. Beautiful.
Good eyebrows.
Yeah. Nice trimmed beard. And so he looks fine. And the character...
Is that what you care about?
Yeah.
He looks fine, so that's all I care about.
No, not just that though. I'm completely convinced that actor... Completely convinced. He's angry.
He had like 2 lines, but those two lines were good.
They said it all. You've messed with the wrong family. Thank you for my sunglasses. I'm off now to make you think about what you've done.
And then we had bag of chips in the corner.
Yeah, we did. We had bag of chips. I mean, in the publicity photo, he looked like he was going to be the cheeky, crazy kind of like
fat boy,
character.
Gus.
And we talked about that. Yeah, a bit a bit of the funny one, the one who's kind of like looked
male
after.
Heather sort of thing.
He looks like Heather. Yeah, male Heather, and but they're trying to introduce him as being almost the same kind of angry level as
bit minty
his brother, and it really didn't work at all. Like when he did that, really like you better watch your back, or I forget what he said.
And when he did like a chest pump, but with his eyes,
and his eyes bulged out of his face, and he kind of curled his right lip as well. Like, it just didn't work.
I mean, it's very early days for us to be judging. They were only on screen for like.
Oh no, I'm judging.
Minutes.
I am judging now.
And you got to remember, it's always tricky when they introduce a family. We said this when they said they're a family with a vendetta. It's always tricky to introduce a family like that because you just instantly get your back up because it's like you don't know these people and they have a vendetta, and you just know like vendetta is not going to be. It's going to be over soon, and then he'll just be some sort of comedy character eating crisps and being a bit of a joke on the square. But
that's right. As you said earlier, he's a minty. So he's going to come in as being this kind of like threatening, kind of a bit of heavy for Karat. And it's just going to ultimately end up being that because he's just, you just know he's just going to be like in about 6 months' time, he's going to be
There'll be nothing to him.
Well, he'll want to set up a DJ business and he'll want to start like DJing in the Vic, and he'll be like, oh, listen to my music, I'm so cool. And he just does not suit the character he's now trying to be, which is almost his brother's right hand man.
Big and scary and
but he's not big and scary. He's just funny.
And also the fact that actually the show doesn't really need these 3 characters. Like it's in such a good place with all the cast for like the first time in a long time. I've not been sitting there thinking, I really need a new set of brothers or a new characters in. It doesn't need it. And
also, why Ben seemed instantly threatened by them?
Taller than him.
Yeah, but also by Jag. It's like, what's there to be... When Jag is walking around the car and he kicks the tyres, and it's like, he stopped doing that, and he kicks him again, and he's like, hang on, you can kick a tyre.
So maybe you're meant to be scared of Jags, but they've just miscast it.
Yeah, but then... Months ago, we saw Ben laughing as he was getting beaten to a pulp by numerous characters.
Guys,
he was getting off on it. Has Callum now tamed the beast? Or is that what we're meant to think?
Maybe she doesn't fancy Jags. There's nothing to get off on, so he's scared.
No, but he gets off on the pain, doesn't he?
I suppose.
True. I guess he is kind of relaxed more about Paul, and he's not drinking as much now after, because that was it, wasn't it? He was like, he wanted to feel pain, and someone beating him was his way of feeling it. But I don't know. And I agree with you again. It doesn't need these characters, at least not yet. No. It feels like they're being thrown in there.
Him. Like Ikra and Habiba's still not got a storyline.
Yeah, do something with them.
Or Ruby, or God forbid Max. If he has to have a storyline. We don't need these 3 new characters.
No, especially if their sole purpose is that they're going to be angry at Ben. Because it just means that for the next 5 months, there's just going to be back and forth between them and Ben. And we've had that. We don't need that again. It's done. We've finished. Let's follow the journey of Ben and Callum a bit further.
Well, someone else is out to get Ben as well, because Bruty Martin.
Oh, yes.
Twit-twoo, he was there in Callum's I'm back to get you gear.
I know, if someone's angry at Ben, they have to wear the compulsory black hoodie.
Yeah, and that's what Keanu turned up, didn't he, from the train station with his scruffy beard, and he had that exact same jacket on. Now he's given it over to Martin. I don't know what Martin's been doing, on the run. It's like he's been on a drug run or something, but all he's been doing is running off with Stacey. Is Stacey going to turn up with loads of greasy hair and makeup all down her, looking broody as well?
Forgotten who she was.
What's happened to Martin?
He's been looking after Stacey on little to no money. And I don't expect they've been earning anything.
Well, he got a new leather jacket.
No, he stole it from Keanu. He quickly went through the window of the tailors and got the.
What happened to the jacket that's been handed down through all the bills? The sheepskin one from Uncle Pete. That's what Martin normally wears.
Yeah, but that's not his spying on someone he hates jacket. That's his working on the market stall jacket or being betrayed by your wife jacket. I mean, I want him to wear his leopard skin money bag as well. That would have been nice if he was wearing that around his waist while he was looking at.
I mean, it is funny thinking that Martin Fowler, of all people, is going to be scary and angry, really. Because Martin Fowler's, he's never been like that.
He has. He's had history of it.
Yeah,
he had it toward Kush.
Not successfully.
I don't know.
Him and Kush fighting was just them mud wrestling and then laughing on the floor, and it looked really homoerotic.
Fair enough. But he doesn't get very hot-headed, can Martin? And sometimes his anger gets the better of him. He gets that from his Uncle Pete.
Not his dad.
No,
Arthur.
Goodness, no.
Lovely Arthur.
No, he takes example from his Uncle Pete. What do you mean? Oh, you're all right then. So that's probably what he'll do. But I'm so angry with you, Ben. Why have you made me have to run away and leave the square of Stacey? Oh, all right then.
I'm sorry, Martin. Nah, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Have a free apple. Here you go. See you later, Bobs.
You have to ask Shrimpy how the stall's been going as well.
Yeah, Kush hasn't been on it at all.
I mean, what's happening with that stall? I mean, who's going to the retail? Yeah, but no, she's not though. No, she's busy. She's busy looking after the anchor, looking after the Albert.
Yeah, cafe.
And her cafe. Tina's flown away for her now 4-week vacation.
Kathy can do it. She's doing the fruit and veg stall.
She's pushing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to nurse deals. Bobby.
And baby Abby. She's got him at her as well, isn't she?
Baby Abby went away but came back. Oh, Max's holiday wasn't really explained for his return
and
this
him
week.
And Ruby are together somehow, even though they broke up.
Oh, are they? When was that said?
Well, they were together in the Victor, in the Bex's party. Oh, they were together next to each other.
They weren't together.
They were.
No.
If you just broken up, you wouldn't be come to a party together, would you?
Callum and Whitney are best friends.
Yeah, but they're cool. Ruby and Max aren't.
No, that's true. They're very pig-minded.
Right, we're going to go on to a game now, and then we'll continue the rest of this discussion in a minute.
Blue Neck Ben, it stinks in here, is the game we're playing today on the podcast.
Oh.
Anyone who's tuned in and not heard this game before, it's quite simple. Basically, I'm going to say the first line of a character, and basically I'm going to give Ben a list of characters, and then I'm going to give Ben a list of first lines, and Ben has to match the first line to the characters. Now, to make it a bit easier for Ben, and also to make it a bit easier for you listeners, what I've done is I've made a little grid that you can find on our Twitter on the day of us releasing the podcast, and you can match them up. But I'm also going to list them one by one. So instead of asking Ben to answer them one by one, I'm going to list them first and then ask for Ben's answer afterwards. So Ben, if you just look in front of you, you should see there's a piece of paper in front of you.
Oh, yes, there is.
Yes, and shall I read out what's on there? So down the left-hand side, you might notice there's a theme.
Mm-hmm.
There's Dot Cotton, Nick Cotton, Charlie Cotton Sr., Ashley Cotton, Dottie Cotton, Rose Cotton, and Charlie Cotton Jr. And they're in chronological order of when they first appeared on the show.
Right.
So here are the quotes, and then I'm going to read them out, and then you have to match one to the other. Okay, so the quotes are, "Hello, Pat." Quote number 2, these are his personal effects. I really am sorry for your loss, Mrs. Branning. Quote number 3, I'll tell you what, next one to buy me a drink gets a proper dance. Number 4, Mum, can I have a bag of crisps? Number 5, give us a tea and a glass of water so I can take a paracetamol. Number 6, I need a towel to dry my hair. And number 7, hey you, see these mate? 5p cheaper than yours down the market.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so they're the quotes and the 7 different cottons. So starting off then with Dot Cotton. What do you think was her first line?
Who is Charlie Cotton Jr.? Is that
Charlie Cotton
Nick's
Jr.
son?
Is Nick's son.
Right, okay.
Who married Ronnie.
Okay. Oh, what was Dot's first line? Give us a tea, a glass of water so I can take a paracetamol. Number 5 is Dot.
Okay, so you're saying Dot is give us a tea and a glass of water so I can take a paracetamol. And you would be correct. She entered the show on the 4th of July 1985, entering the cafe asking for the very same.
Right. Keep going, because otherwise I'll forget.
So, number 2, Nick Cotton. Nick Cotton's first line.
Number 7.
Which is, hey you, see there mate, 5p cheaper than yours down the market, is correct also. 19th of February 1985. He was introduced into the show before Dot, so actually they're not in chronological order. Very first episode, and he was making fun of the Minute Mart.
Yes, I watched that recently for a project, so there.
Lucky timing. So, Charlie Cotton Jr., Charlie Cotton Sr., what was his first line?
Hello Pat, maybe?
Yeah, you saying it's hello Pat?
No. What would Charlie... Maybe it's the proper dance one, but that can't be. Yeah, I'm going to say number 3.
I'll tell you what, next one to buy me a drink gets a proper dance.
I'm
afraid that's not correct. So both of those answers stay in the limbo for now. How about Ashley Cotton?
Number 4.
What makes you say that one?
Don't know.
Mum, can I buy you a bag of crisps? That's correct. He did say that. That was his first line. This was when he was very young. This is when Dot first met him. So not when he came back with Nick. And
he was the brilliant actor.
And yes, unfortunately rode into the windows of the laundrette. He was there with his mum. Nick was out working and she was visiting Ashley for the first time, Dot. And she was and Ashley had a Mega Drive.
Ooh, lucky
so there you
him.
go. Yeah, I know. Lucky boy. So yes, you got 3 out of 4 so far. Dotty Cotton.
Number 6, because I watched that recently as well for a project.
Okay, I need a towel for my hair is correct. She was out of the way before Dot had even met her, and Nick had returned on Boxing Day after his stint in jail.
He had.
Rose Cotton. Then you have 3 answers left. It can either be hello Pat, I'll tell you what, next one to buy me a drink gets a proper dance, or these are his personal effects. I really am sorry for your loss, Mrs. Branning. Rose Cotton, what was her first line?
Number 3.
The drink gets a proper dance?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Oh,
that was Rose's first line. So let's see if you can work out Charlie Cotton Jr.'s very first line.
I can now, because hello Pat sounds like something Charlie Cotton Sr. would say. Hello Pat. And then the 6th one, because Pat would have been dead by the time Charlie Cotton Jr. was introduced to the show. So his must be the personal effects. I'm sorry for your loss, which must be... because he thought Nick was dead, but he wasn't dead.
I'll give you the full story. You're correct. That was Charlie Cotton Jr.'s first line. He came to the door thinking, obviously they all thought that Nick was dead. He came to the door though as a police officer, so Dot didn't even know that was her grandson.
Oh.
And so he offered her condolences, and she pulled her hand away from his hand, and then he quickly left the scene. And so we didn't find out that was her actual grandson until a few months later, or a few weeks later. So there we go. So you did all right. You got 6 out of 7. The only one you got wrong was Charlie Cotton Sr.
Yeah. Weird that his first thing was about Pat, but they probably had a thing at some point.
It's because he was at the door. Dot had just moved into her new flat, which was Ethel's old flat. And Charlie had knocked on the door, and basically he introduced himself to Pat before he said hello to Dot.
Oh, I see.
So there you go. So you did all right. 6 out of 7. Would you like to rate yourself as an EastEnders character like you normally do on these matters?
I only do that on my own games, not your games.
You normally do on my games as well. Okay,
I'm a Dotty Cotton.
Oh.
She's at university, don't you know?
Yes. There you go. So highly educated, just like yourself, Ben. So let us know how you got on at home. Hopefully you guys got to play at home as well. And that was Core, it stinks in here.
Well, not to put a downer on the episode, but we're talking about the Beck storyline now.
I mean, it was really well portrayed.
It was well done. It's just it's hard to laugh, so I'm not going to laugh now.
Okay,
For
keep
20 minutes.
straight faced. Yeah, we have to be serious.
No, we'll keep it lighthearted somehow.
There was a baby shower.
There was.
So,
and that was really nice because it was all like the girls talking, and it was just I like when they do bits like that, like all the characters together.
They went online. Have you been on this website? Because I've done this website too.
The baby one.
Yeah, you basically take. Yeah, that website's brilliant when you kind of just take two people's faces and they can just merge it into one weird baby face. Yeah,
because Bex, like that was more like the Sharon. Sharon didn't turn up to that, but like Bex was there and she was on the outside.
Louise was seething that Sharon didn't turn up. She thought it was a lovely baby shower, but. Where was Sharon?
I'd be annoyed if Sharon didn't turn up. She's like the best life of the party.
Oh God, yeah. But well, she can't drink, so she's kind of lost her edge, hasn't she?
But Bex was sort of like just watching from the outside, not really joining in, and Lisa kept sort of noticing. And throughout the week, like the only one who noticed Bex was just walking around crying. The only one that noticed for some reason was Lisa, because she's been there before, so she kind of saw the signs.
But she let the side down slightly at the middle of the week when she saw the signs. She even tried to convince.
She even had a montage.
Yeah, well, she even tried to talk to Bex on about 2-3 occasions, every time saying, it'll get better.
You're not alone.
It's okay. You're not alone. It's all fine.
Sonia won't care.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Tell Sonia the truth. She won't care. She won't care. And every time Bex was talking to someone, she would always allude to what her plan was. But I guess...
Yeah, it was really horrible. Like, she kept going, like, everyone's like, oh, you're excited for uni? And she was like, yeah, I'm ready to go now. And she kept saying stuff like that, and everything was final, and she was doing this. Everything she was doing was, she knew, like...
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm going to go. And, like, she sold her guitar.
Yeah.
And all things.
Well, that's the thing, wasn't it?
The end of her music career.
And she gave the money to the homeless lady.
Doesn't need it. Don't need it where I'm going.
No. Yeah, exactly.
So there was horrible foreshadowing. It's just...
Because she wanted to get rid of her clothes as well, and she said she wanted to start fresh. And Sonia was like, oh no, you shouldn't forget your past. I don't know, Sonia. Some real bad things had happened to her.
Yeah.
Perhaps a fresh start would be a good idea in some respects.
She had like a little chat with Shaquille on the bench, and she left the party early. There was background music. I didn't hate the music this time, the incidental music.
I liked the music, but I liked it last time. I turned to you this week and said to you, oh, they're not really using music anymore again, are they? Literally as they did it on that episode, and it's back. Yeah, no, I thought it suited it. Even the time-lapse was what felt a bit strange for me, that they used a time-lapse shot showing the sunrise above the square.
Well, they did that for Bex when Mr. Price left. Do you remember? It was like evening, and he left in a taxi, and then they stayed on the shot, and it just went to a time-lapse the next day, and we kind of joked and said... Oh, it was a new producer, a new series. So maybe they're kind of... The way they were bookending the Callum thing, maybe they're doing the same sort of thing with
They
Bex.
did it with Carmel, when Carmel drove off, when we all thought there was meant to be a Jewish theme. And then it went from daytime, as the car drove to nighttime, and then that's when... Yeah, that was Halloween. That's when... So almost a year to the day, Hayley was...
dropped off the baby.
Yeah, dropped off, yeah.
But maybe they were just kind of saying, like, this is when Bex started to feel a bit depressed then. And this is where we've ended now, maybe. But yeah, that time-lapse was weird. And it's like they were trying to fit loads of things in. Well,
on our Facebook page, where we...
you can join, can't you?
Which anyone can join, yeah, just by searching EastEnders Weekly Podcast and then clicking to join. But we have a really good community on there. And someone who is a member, Bethan Davis, went to a... talk. It was like a...
Oh yeah, the BAFTA talk with a few of the writers.
Some writers and the producers and from EastEnders.
And Tiff and Keegan were there, I think.
Oh, lovely. Nice to have a nice little chat with them. And she wrote on a Facebook page about it, and she said, thought the music was very cliche. Makes me sad that EastEnders aren't trusting the strength of the writing and are blowing pop songs over otherwise great scenes. But at the BAFTA talk a couple of weeks ago, John Sen said he wanted the show to keep up with the Netflix era, so I don't think it will change. Otherwise, it was very powerful, made my mum very upset, and having lost people from suicide, I found it very difficult to watch. So that's interesting for John Sen to say that he's trying
getting that young audience.
Getting the young audience. making shots and music make it seem like a more higher budget, a more higher standard.
And also
show.
that Netflix comment, I guess they're leaving it. They're getting those cliffhanger duff, like they want you to watch the next one, like a bit like Netflix. You binge, and it has to end. So maybe that's why they've been doing these sort of added extra. Like they could have ended it with her taking the pills at night time.
Yeah,
but they didn't. They did the time lapse, and then Sonia found her body. So you kind of see like the first 10 seconds of the next episode.
Yeah, ready to watch
it, and then it stops.
I mean, this is going back to a discussion we've had before, which is, are people watching EastEnders live anymore? Yeah, there are plenty of people who are, but there's a very large majority of people who, maybe like when they had the omnibus on a Sunday, who prefer to watch it on a weekend when they can watch all 4 episodes back to back, or watch it on a catch-up. And so I suppose John Sen is being quite savvy, if this is also the kind of direction he wants to take the soap, knowing that, okay, we're never going to win ratings. This is
overnight ratings, but
downloads, we're still king with downloads for our soap. We're beating Coronation Street and Emmerdale.
That's not hard at the moment.
Yeah, but for downloads, they really are. They're above and beyond them. Whilst for live viewing, Coronation Street and Emmerdale tend to beat EastEnders. So to think, as you said, in the way that they're now making this episode, so it's written in or produced in a more
binge-worthy way.
Yeah, it makes good sense.
I was sort of thinking, when we saw that thing and Bex and Sonia found her the next morning, I did sort of think inside, God, imagine if they have a bit like how they killed Billy Jackson. Imagine if they didn't announce it, but she had died. I thought that would have been such a really good end.
There was a real scramble, wasn't there, on social media with people saying, "Oh, but no, hang on, she's in the trailer. There must be more. There must be more." But I thought the same. I thought, what if
it would have been balls? It would have been a shame because she's like last Fowler, female Fowler, needs to continue the legacy character, and they've killed loads of young characters, so it would have been silly. But at the same time, the way they did it and made it, and it would have been like quite shock end for Bex.
But I don't think, as you said, I think the character is more important than the shock.
And they've learnt that.
They've learnt the hard way that sometimes you shouldn't get rid of a character for the sake of
Lucy, Stephen,
Pat,
Abby, Pat.
Pat.
She's a legacy character.
She's the big one. He's gone off to Hollyoaks to
Pat?
The producer.
Oh, the producer.
He's gone off to Hollyoaks to kind of mess around with their minds.
So yeah, but Bex is fine from what we know. She got to hospital on time. Nurse Sonia was there, put her in a recovery position. It was nice continuity as well. Ash was there, Ikra's girlfriend, taking in charge.
Yeah, I was really
impressed. Doctor.
You spotted it. I did, to be fair. But when you did, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I'm glad of that.
Yeah, so she's still around. She's a character. Could be related to the new brothers, we think.
Yeah.
But we're not sure. 100%.
I don't think it's a coincidence that on a Friday episode they showed Ash and then the brothers.
And then she's getting the care. They found her suicide note, that Stuart found. Max, Uncle Max. What is it with the Brannings when they're in hospitals? They're so annoying.
They just get so angry unnecessarily, don't they? Where you want to go up with you?
It's like Max was just there. Stuart came in and was like, "Oh, Sonia, can I talk to you in private?" "What are you doing?" "No."
Yeah.
"Talk to him in front of me."
Anything you say in front of us.
And then Stuart gave her the note, and Max was just in the background going, and tapping his hands, looking at his watch. You'd be like, "Oh, so come on, Sonia, what is it?" It's like, for God's sake, Max, just take some time, breathe.
No tact whatsoever. Does old Max. Just gets so painfully frustrated that he's not in the loop.
When we talk about how great John Sen and Kate Oakes are, they've still not managed to make me like Max even a tiny bit yet. Jack Branning, I enjoy-ish.
I quite like Jack Branning.
Everyone else I'm enjoying, but Max Branning is just, But
then he's just such a difficult character to like. The fact that
he looks annoyed all the time and angry and like he just wants to get off.
Get off.
Get out and off.
Get off. I mean, with Stuart, they've almost rewritten Stuart, but he's become a character which you can you're starting to see his integration into the common ground, the common community of Walford. But with Max, it's like he's still kind of painfully out of the way.
He's just there, like plonked in places. And...
Like he's helping Bobby, and then he's not helping Bobby, and then he's helping Sonia, but then he's not helping Sonia.
Then he's got baby Abby, and then he's with Ruby, and then he's on holiday, and then he's back again.
Yeah, and it's just like he's just kind of there and not there, and not there.
And when he is there, he's just there getting angry for no reason.
Yeah, just winding himself up. He really needs to see a counsellor.
They could have, like, to make us feel for Max, he could have took Sonia aside and told her about Abby and how he felt when Abby was on life support. Like, something.
Show some kind of consideration and some support.
Not just yell at her saying, "What's in the letter?"
Yeah. Give me your feelings. I want to live off your feelings, Sonia.
I found it interesting that they chose not to show us what was in the letter. It didn't look like it was a long one. Like it was, you could kind of see because it was paper see-through. It was like a few lines, but it wasn't like a full-on essay.
I mean, the first thing Bex did when she woke up was she said, "I'm sorry," and Sonia was like, "Nothing to be sorry for." But I mean, Sonia should feel the burden of blame for this. And I don't want to sound too cruel, but it was Sonia's persistent pushing and pushing and pushing, and she had one warning already, but she then continued to push.
I mean,
Bex was feeling the weight of the world on her shoulders. I think Sonia was living her dream through Bex. That's how I feel, anyway.
Yeah, the trouble was, like, okay, this part of the storyline's been done well and handled well, and the way they showed the aftercare of the hospital was really realistic. But, like, the build-up to her actually wanting to end her life, it felt a bit like, really? To me, like, I don't know, you saw those signs that she was sad and she ran away and she didn't want to go to uni, but you didn't really see the signs of Sonia pushing her. Since she ran away, she wasn't pushing her to do things.
Oh, no, she was. Because you even said yourself that you were, when she woke up, you were expecting her to say, "There's still time to go to university."
Yeah, but every time Sonia did say that to Bex, also she said at the same time, "You can do what you want, you can do it slower, you can calm down, you can do it at your own pace."
But when she caught Bex looking on the computer at taking like a job for a year instead of going straight to university, Sonia started to panic, didn't she? And I don't think it was so much that she was disappointed in Bex not going to university immediately. It was more the kind of, what would other people think? What would people think? And I think that's Sonia's problem. Sonia's worrying too much about what others think. But on Friday's episode was when she realised that that's not the way to be. When she speaks to her mum and she realises that she maybe messed up here, because that's not what Carol ever was. Carol always let Sonia be what she wanted to be.
And you also had that part as well where she was talking to Stuart about how she gave Bex up. She kind of blames herself for that, and I guess maybe she thought, I gave her up, maybe I damaged her when she was young, I'm going to do everything I can to make her the best she can be, and she kind of got blindsided, I guess. But I don't think you can really blame anyone.
Oh no, no one's 100% to blame.
No. But apart from Max. I'll blame Max quite happily.
Max and Jack, the Branning brothers. Let's just blame them. They're to blame.
Blame Jim Branning.
Yeah. I mean, who came back this week?
Jim Branning?
No, Dottie.
Oh.
And Dot.
Yes. That was nice to see. Because last week we refreshed everyone's minds on who Dottie was, and a new actress has taken over, and she appears to be kind of nice. She doesn't really want to go out much. She doesn't want to go partying much. She wants to be with Grandma.
Tiff has her reservations still. She instantly, her heckles went up and she was like, "Oh, hello. You're back, are you?"
Yeah. And Dottie called her like, "Oh, you're the ginger one," or something.
Yeah, you're a little ginger brat or something, she said.
So there's a little bit of something, and she like went straight for Keegan, I noticed. But not really flirty, but I guess
no,
she took it like that.
No, she was.
She did it on purpose.
She was purposely trying to show or give
dominance. Yeah, dominance.
And give attention to Keegan, to upset Tiff. So there's still something between them, and she's also, which isn't a very difficult thing to do, upset Louise as well, because Louise instantly made Bex's suicide attempt about her. It's like, I should have seen the signs, and I didn't see the signs.
She's so annoying.
Yeah.
I really felt for Lisa this week, because you could tell she felt really guilty that she didn't do the extra few steps to the door.
I know, that was infuriating that she hadn't done
Louise.
that.
She texted her mum, "Where are you?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's why she had to
Louise
go back.
interrupted.
She didn't want to let Louise down, because she's been letting Louise down for years.
A lot.
That's why she went straight back. But there's been no like hints at what Dottie's here for, or what her storyline's going to be. Yeah, that
studying at university.
That can't be her storyline. Like there wasn't even like an initial hint like she's here. I mean, they mentioned Dr. Leg's fortune.
Dot's going to use the money to pay
buy the house.
Yeah, so it's no longer council. I didn't realise it still was council owned.
I don't know. She got away with that. She mentioned that Charlie has got a baby on the way, expecting a baby, so she's going to be a great grandmother again. And then the fact that Dottie said she was just going to stay here for forever, but her mum's still alive, because Dot mentioned Sandy, so it's not like her mum's died. So I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to all suspect that she's there for Dr. Leg's money, but she's not, and Dot's going to die, and they're all going to blame Dottie, but she's actually innocent? Is it going to be something like that?
Maybe. It was interesting, the dynamics between Stuart and, I want to say Kirsty from now on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Dottie,
yeah,
just because
Kirsty.
I think that the writers want you to know her as Kirsty. So I think the relationship between Stuart and Kirsty is an interesting one. Like, Stuart kind of stood up for Kirsty when Louise went off on her.
He might see her as a bit like his daughter Zara. That's what you said last week. Maybe he sees, I might have a chance to do better for helping this girl out rather than what I messed up with my daughter. Maybe
I think it's maybe they're going to bring up the story again that everyone suspects that Stuart's only friends with or staying with Dot because he's still interested in getting the money. But he seemed genuinely concerned when he saw the ambulance. He came running and said, "Please don't say it's anything to do with Dot."
Yeah, Miss Branning.
Yeah, Miss Branning. So I do think he genuinely loves Dot and is concerned and care for her. So, like I say, the dynamic with Kirsty and him, I think, is going to be the one to keep an eye on.
I mean, it's interesting how she got invited to the party. She said, "No, I'll stay in." And then Dot, she said, "Oh, Grandma made me come." And then she straight away ordered drinks. So is that going to be like a storyline? Like she doesn't want to go out and she doesn't trust herself drinking or something? But I don't know. I am grasping at straws, trying to see what the possible storyline could be because they didn't give any hints.
I think it's good
she's
that
vegan. Yeah, that's it.
Maybe when she's had a bit too much to drink,
she eats meat.
That's it. She goes to the kebab shop and starts eating meat, and that's her problem. That's her big storyline of 2020.
Yeah, I mean it's got to relate to her original storyline, I guess, which everyone thought she was
too
evil.
Obvious. I really think it's too obvious.
But I don't know what else it could be. Max Branning knew her. He recognised her.
Max Branning probably fancied her or something.
Oh no!
Oh, it's just another one for his bedstead, isn't it? For him to knock through. I think it's too obvious for Kirsty to be evil.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would love a Janine style character, and we need a Janine
That's
Butcher
true.
in our lives. We really do.
Maybe she'll take Bernie away from Tiff, best friend. Maybe there'll be something there. She'll try and upset Tiff that way.
No, I don't think Bernie will be used. I'm afraid
she could be a potential girlfriend.
Well,
Kirsty and Bernie.
I don't want to sound horrible, but I don't think that they would suit each other.
Oh.
I don't. Bernie and Kirsty wouldn't be. I don't. Apart from their names sounding like they rhyme slightly.
Yeah.
Burn and Kerr.
Bertie.
Kearney. Kearney. Or Bursty.
Botty.
Botty. The Botty and Boom Boom with old Patrick.
Oh no. Right, so enough of Kirsty and Tiff's feud. We've got a bigger feud between two blondes going on still.
This is Ryan Murphy territory feud.
It is.
Now.
That would be a good series in the future.
It really would.
Letitia versus Tamsin.
Can you imagine if behind the scenes in real life they hated each other?
Oh, they don't though, because they keep posting photos.
Aww.
Tamsin, she keeps giving her... Sharon, Letitia Dean, is making her own home veg.
Yes.
And she's giving it to Tamsin. She's still giving it to Tamsin. And Tamsin posted the other day that Letitia was out with her for a meal. She'd made her a meal out of the veg she gave her.
Oh, well, they went out to eat?
No, to Mel's house. To Tamsin's house.
Tamsin's house.
And they went to a spa day together.
Oh, Sharon offered Mel
photos?
a spa day.
Oh, yeah.
This week. Yeah.
Life imitating art.
It really is.
So it's funny, they get on really well in real life.
I think they're missing a trick, though, because it would be really nice if they could fake like a real hate outside the show as well. So that people really feels like the feud that you see on screen is happening. Real. Yeah, it's really happening.
They hate each other.
Yeah, they're going to cut each other out with a box cutter.
I mean, Mel's plan is slowly just turning into an insane woman, really.
Well, her voice, like I said earlier, her voice is getting gravelier and gravelier. It's like every night she drinks 2 bottles of red wine and about 20 packs of Marlboro. Red. And she's just going like storming through them, just stewing about what she's going to do to Sharon the next day.
It's so stupid how she wants Sharon to go to Portugal to find her house and then come back to Portugal and like tell Mel about the house. It's the weirdest Place in the Sun I've ever seen.
Yes, Place in the Sun is a TV show, by the way, on Channel 4 in the UK.
Yeah, where you fly out somewhere, look for homes to possibly buy, which I could see Sharon doing.
Yeah.
She used to do an estate agent, didn't she, when she was 18?
No, she wasn't.
Quite a few months.
She wasn't an estate agent.
Yeah, but
she was a travel agent.
No, before that she worked in an estate agent.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She used to work in retail.
Oh.
Yeah, she worked in retail, got bored of it.
Well, that could be a future storyline.
What, Sharon starts a new career in estate
agency. After her successful transfer of her Portugal villa with Mel.
All she has to do is learn how to say coming up every time it goes to a commercial break. Which house will they choose this week? Coming up.
I mean, it's a weird plan, though, from Mel.
It's weird because, like you say, there's no real need for Sharon to go out to look for a villa. It's
Why don't you just pay Mel to go to Portugal?
That would make better sense. That would make 100% better sense.
Also, the fact was it last week when she wanted 30,000 and Sharon just gave her 12? Was that this week?
No, it was last week.
Yeah, and she said that's the maximum I can do, and then she books a holiday for like $2,000.
No, Phil booked the holiday.
Yeah, well,
after Dennis manipulated him.
She could have got that money and given it to Mel, kept her quiet for a bit longer.
What said I wanted to go on holiday, then cashed in the holiday.
Yeah, I lost it.
Sat in like an old B&B for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Slap on some more fake tan and be like, oh, lovely. Buy a Toblerone on the way back from the shops. I got this from Duty Free for you, Phil. Quick slap on the bum, bit of giggle upstairs, Keanu crying under the bed, all done.
I was getting a bit worried because Sharon found her fire towards the end of the week and she was about to grab hold of a box cutter. What was she planning to do to Mel in the nightclub?
Slice her up.
She was. What was she going to do? Because Phil walked in just when she was about to do something.
Well, Sharon looked
Sharon
looked really panicked, didn't she, when she saw Phil? Yeah. And that's when Mel said, "Don't think I wouldn't have told him then, because I would have. But I still want my villa in Portugal."
Obsessed. But Louise and Lisa aren't that bothered by it at the moment, I've noticed this week.
Well, they've got their own problems to
Mel's
solve.
just walking around talking Portuguese for no reason.
What, no one else speaking in Portuguese?
Yeah, did you not really hear that?
No, I didn't. I wish I had. That sounds hilarious.
Because she looked at Louise and Lisa well, you can't have forgotten all your Portuguese already, have you?
No. If she was talking Portuguese, she must have gone up to Lisa and Louise and said, "Que?"
Yeah, I mean, this is a weird plan. It's just ongoing feud in the background this week, really, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, there was a few looks thrown at each other, and
Sharon couldn't get the passport
because Phil lost the passport after punching Jono. And so she got Jack to already corrupt.
I know.
He's not even officially back on the force yet, and he's using his corruptness to get a passport so that obviously Sharon's plan can come into fruition. I mean,
he did get for her for some reason, even us saying I'm not doing that, Sharon. That's ridiculous.
But no, he said he would do it, but then he got upset because Sharon mentioned it again to him, and he said, "How dare you, Sharon? My niece is in hospital." But then an hour later said, "Here you go, here's your passport." I love Sharon's excitement and glee as well when Phil said, "I've got a surprise for you," and it's like a padded envelope. He's like, "Ooh, you got your passport!" Oh, it's a day off in the spa.
Yeah.
I felt a bit sorry for Sharon. Sharon tried to palm off that day off in the spa to Mel as well. It's almost like an appeasement.
That was part of her bitchy plan, wasn't it? When she had the box cutter, she was all powerful behind the desk.
I can't go to Portugal to look for your villa, but here, have a spa day.
You need it. You look haggard.
Yeah, you deep throat bitch.
That box cutter moment wasn't a classy blackmail, Sharon, so not keeping up to her words.
Well, Sharon seems to have like these moments when she's like, yeah, she says,
I'm ruthless.
Yeah, I'm ruthless. I can do this. I'm going to do anything for my little family. She says to Phil, and she's like, I love my little family. Do you love your little family, Phil? And Phil's looking down at his groin and saying, are you talking about that? And she's like, no. I mean, actually, me and Dennis and you. And she's like, oh yeah, I love my little family. She's like, yeah, I'll do anything for my little family. Family.
She's getting too old for it now, isn't she?
Oh, she needs to retire from this pregnancy vlog.
She needs to turn into Pat now and just be give advice to people about their problems because she's done it all. Been there, done that. Had all the husbands.
I must say I'm somewhat surprised that they're actually going through with this pregnancy.
Not with Sharon. They can't miss the opportunity, can they?
Yeah, but I really thought that there would be a miscarriage story.
And she's not given birth yet.
Which would escalate the whole, Keanu being found out as the dad stories. I didn't think they'd go this far with it.
We've got till February, so...
There's a long way to go,
She's
yeah.
due.
But I think a lot of it's going to be spoiler alert, fast forward through 30 seconds. I think a lot of it's going to happen around Christmas. That's the impression I've been given. Yeah, very Mitchell Christmas. Merry Mitchell Christmas. I shall shout those words.
Mitchell meals are amazing at the best of times.
Oh, Easter, especially if they're religious festivals.
Yeah, a Mitchell Christmas meal.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for Aunt Sal, and we've got it.
Oh, I hope so. Well, plough me down with a car outside of Cathy's. EastEnders Weekly have a merch store. Yes, we're relaunching our merch store at bit.ly/EEW merch, where we have an exclusive design of the Queen Vic bust, plus more to come. And to celebrate our relaunch, we're having a competition where you can win any item you choose from the merch store delivered to your home. Each week we're going to ask a new question, and if you enter on our email, on our Twitter or Instagram DMs, you'll get one entry, and you can enter as many times as you like every week. This week the question is, when Dot comes home with Dottie, what does she say she is dying for? Is it A, tomato juice and a gossip, B, a sherry and a nap, or C, a cup of tea and a fag? You can enter at email eastendersweekly@gmail.com, just put competition 1 as the subject, or slide us a DM on Twitter and Instagram at EastEnders Week or at EastEnders Weekly Podcast. Don't forget, if you're a fan of the show, let everyone know by buying a piece of merch from bit.ly/EEWmerch. That's bit.ly/EEWmerch, and you can get the Queen Vic bust design on hats, t-shirts, jumpers, mugs, mobile phone cases, dog bandanas. Yes, even your dog can be in fashion with a Queen Vic bust on them. And for every item you buy, you're really helping us out make our podcast. So please visit bit.ly/EEWmerch and check out the exclusive EastEnders Weekly merchandise.
Right, so we're going to move on to a topic which we didn't think we'd be covering again.
No, we were adamant we're not going to talk about this man anymore. And yet, here we are talking about Ted.
He had a shock exit, and he still continued. He even, his voice appeared this week, so we're having to continue to talk about him through Denise. So Ted's not really been contacting many people. Denise can't get hold of him, so she's obviously worried.
After what Sherie had said last week, that Wanda had just been acquitted for the murder of her 5th husband or something along those lines.
Fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
Was he pushed? Or did he trip? We'll never find out.
Yeah, and she was just playing detective Denise all week.
Yeah.
She was very suspicious of everything. She kept telling Jack and Patrick. And I've noticed last week Sherie said, you're going to end up a very lonely woman. And people kept saying that to Denise this week. And I don't know why they keep saying it, because Patrick said it to her, if you keep being suspicious, you'll just end up alone.
Well, you'll lose the people who love you. And Jack was beginning to show a bit of a strain from Denise's consistent, I just don't trust her. I don't trust her. There's something about her. I just don't trust her.
Jack, the policeman, the detective. No, nothing's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. Well, Denise is right to suspect this, because obviously at the end of their story, she was on the phone and she said, I love you. So presumably...
Sherie did, you mean?
Sherie, yes, is still married, perhaps, or has a boyfriend.
Yeah, because Jack convinced Denise to apologise. So she did apologise to Sherie, and then she left. Sherie waited till it was empty and then answered her phone. And she said a few, not bad things, but they could be interpreted in 1,000 different ways.
Well, she said, when the time is right. She said, I miss you too. And then there was something else said, when the time is right. So what time? What's going to happen when the time is right?
I don't think it's evil. I think it's going to be something like she has a secret son or something.
Oh, yeah, I thought that.
But I don't know why that would be a secret, unless it's a secret son of Patrick's that she's hunted Patrick down for some sort of
Or her
reason.
son is Lucas.
No, what, for Denise? That's why Denise is.
No, Cherie's son is Lucas.
Oh no.
Why not? Or there must be something that's attached to Denise's past.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Because Denise is suspicious of her. Yeah, but she's there with Patrick, though. So she could be something to
Or she's bringing back Paul.
Yeah, Paul could be alive.
Paul Truman.
But why would she be in a relationship? What would her relationship be with Paul, though? Because she's married.
Oh, friend.
Just friends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Nothing, just
No, because she's in a relationship with Patrick. So, yeah, I don't know.
She's married to Patrick and they're married. Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know why a secret son would... That wouldn't really be something she has. What could be something she has to keep secret?
Well, there must be something linked to either Patrick or Denise, but I think it's more likely to be linked to Denise.
Could be something to do with Kim. Maybe Kim's doing something on the side.
No, because she's talked about Sherie with Kim. Oh, yeah. So Kim is aware of Sherie. So surely Kim would have, dropped it. Kim, she wouldn't be able to keep a secret. Maybe it's
Vincent.
Maybe it's linked to Vincent.
Could be, or Claudette.
Yeah. Oh, they should bring back Claudette.
Yeah, they did leave the door open for her. I think it's a bit of a red herring, but they're making us think it's this big evil thing. But the fact that she waited for the house to be empty to pick up the phone, it must be something. But I can't quite work out what.
I just can't get myself over that phone call. That voicemail that Ted left.
Hey, when you found out Ted was alive, actually.
Yes, he was alive, but in the phone call it sounded like he was being murdered. But then we later found out he was jumping off a zip line.
That was obvious.
Ted has gone, his personality change has gone from 0 to 1,000,000.
It's like Joyce, off screen.
Yeah, exactly.
The second they're off screen, they're the life of the party.
And the most interesting people there.
God.
Why can't they just do that on the square? I love it when he says, Wanda, are you really going to? Wanda, oh my lord! It's all right, Ted. It could have been anything. I did think flashbacks of when Sharon insisted that Louise should hear the sex recording of her and
the Keanu,
but it was actual personal training. Well, she said it was personal training.
Yeah, it did have hints of that, but it's nice really that Ted has a little voice memo.
But I think, I don't know. I don't think Boom Boom has anything to worry about. That's my new name for Patrick.
No, Patrick's all right. And also, the funny thing about Jack, last week he was starting his training. This week he's a detective inspector.
No, he had to do his computer training, didn't he?
Yeah, but it happened very quickly.
Yeah, it is.
Now he's got suits all over the place and got work here, work there.
I mean, how long? Someone wrote he was a civilian for like 11 years, like when he got taken off the force. Yeah, so you'd think there'd be a bit more basic training involved. Do you think he would have to? It just seems a bit odd that he's been thrown back into investigations.
Well, everything's just so quick on EastEnders, isn't it? Like last year, Kat was reading that map on the wall for about 8 months, trying to train for a taxi thing.
Which has gone quiet.
Yeah, and then Jack, 2 weeks ago, decides to go back to work. He's full-time policeman.
Yeah, he becomes a detective sergeant again.
It's like, God.
Although that's an interesting story I was meaning to bring up. It's interesting that someone who was trained by Jack is now more superior to Jack. So is that something that's going to be...
Yeah, because he said, I have my coffee with oat milk.
No, it was almond milk, wasn't it?
Yeah, so...
Pretentious.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something else that's going to be investigated, no pun intended, with Jack, and that is that he feels this inferiority complex where on the square he's still seen as big man Jack. You know, if you need to find out a problem about the police, go to Jack.
For a passport, go to Jack.
Yeah, exactly. But in the actual force, in the actual line of work where he shouldn't be corrupt anymore, but still is, he's now this kind of lower end. So is that going to be like the story? A bit like
hurt his manhood.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to feel like he's fitted in anymore. And so once the problem with Denise is kind of blown over, which presumably this was the week it had, because Denise...
Yeah, no more Ted.
Yeah, no more Ted. No more... Yeah, we don't know this just yet.
I'm not talking about Ted next week.
Well, if Ted gets brought up, I'm afraid we have to.
Well, if he's fun now, so I don't mind.
Fun Ted.
I don't mind talking about Ted.
Fun time Ted.
Zip lining, conga, 24-hour party.
Sounds like a children's party. Something that Linda would love to organise, I feel.
God. This Linda storyline, I don't like it. I had such high hopes when they announced they're going to look into Linda having an alcoholism storyline. And the way they're doing this, it's so cringy and just awful. Well, like, the group of mums are so bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they were like that, Linda wouldn't even want to be friends with them.
No,
they're not exactly nice, are they?
No, you're absolutely right. Linda's got more dignity than that.
Yeah.
Linda's always... Linda's
so shoehorned in.
But this is the funny thing. Linda's always been a very confident, self-affirming woman. And it's strange
She stood up to Michelle Fowler.
Well, she stood up to lots of people.
Yeah.
She stood up to Stuart.
Yeah.
You know, so this is when Stuart was peak evil madman, and she stood up to him. And she's gone through a heck of a lot. So you think that just being liked by a few mums, just for the sake of her child fitting into school, I don't think that's a very good lesson to teach your child. It's like the only way you can ever do anything in life is to be popular and to be liked by everyone. It's like, no, follow your own route, make your own path.
It's not like the massive group of friends out there. They're like 4 women who are just...
Everyone keeps calling them Mummy Mafia, like they have some stronghold over the whole of Walford schools.
And they're like the dullest friends ever.
Yeah, they're really boring, aren't they? It's like when Linda passionately made an argument for why kids have too much pressure on them nowadays at school, which is understandable. They all just sat there looking bow-faced.
Yeah,
and
like,
just like,
she has an opinion.
Yeah.
I can't just on Instagram.
Yeah, I have orange juice. I've got to drive later. It's like...
But yeah, this is obviously the indication for her drinking storyline, but it's not what I thought.
Do you think if Linda had posted that as a story on Instagram, going back to what you just said, that they may have paid more attention?
Probably.
Is it because
there was a filter.
Yeah, yeah. Big dolly eyes. And like butterflies popping out of her nose when she's blooming opens her eyes.
Yeah,
I hate homework for kids.
I just got no time for the Carters, I'm afraid. Linda and Mick, no matter what storyline they're given at the moment.
I mean, there's no inkling of them doing the alcohol storyline yet. Is there
well,
really?
At the Bex's party, someone didn't want a drink, and Linda picked it up and said, "Don't waste that," and then she drank it.
Oh, right.
And then when she invited the mums out to drink for midday, they went, "Oh, what, a drink at that time?" And then when she was actually there, she then went to the bar and said, "Oh, I need another bottle." So there's like small, subtle hints.
Oh, I see. So she's kind of drinking to suppress her upset. Yeah, okay.
No, small, subtle hints. But I just don't like the way this weird mummy storyline is the way into it. It just seems... Yeah.
But they find out... Well, I actually won't talk about that because that's next week.
Oh.
I think they've already said it. Or
no, don't say it. I'm just surprised.
I mean, if anyone wants to know anything that happens in the following weeks of the soap, you can always go to our YouTube channel where we do a spoiler cast every week saying what's going to happen on EastEnders.
I do it and I can't remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I never remember what is in it. That's why I can talk about it again now.
But I watch it and I now know what's happened. So yeah, check out our YouTube channel and join in. So that was the week. What a week.
Oh, that was.
Lots of things happened, I know.
That went by quick.
What happens when you're having fun?
My low point of the week was probably the Linda one or the Jean and Daniel one. Both of those storylines are not hitting the points that I thought they were going to hit when they were announced.
I think Jean and Daniel, I agree with you on. Linda,
Such a shame.
I can't really say anything about Linda because I don't really see anything happening at the moment. It's just that's happening.
That's not good though.
But yeah, but as you say with Daniel, if this had been maybe last year, they might have given a bit more time. But then I suppose that's an argument that the soap's got so much better and so much more involved that the fact they don't have the time to kind of like pad out stories anymore.
I did like how when the news about Bex slowly went around the square. Like, everyone kept talking about it. I love that. Because that's like old EastEnders, that is, when everyone keeps mentioning what's happened.
Yeah,
so...
Lou would never let anyone just die on her watch, would she?
No.
Old Lou Bill. She would never let that happen.
So, yeah, I like that. I like those continuity bits. So, let's go on to Who Won the Week and what happened this time last year.
And your comments on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.
You know me, I ain't one to gossip.
Yes, it's the part of the show right at the end when we talk about your comments, but we also go back in time and find out what happened this time a few years back as we jump onto Ben's bandwagon and listen to his little tune.
Well, this is a big one.
Thank you very much.
Said Callum to Ben.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm going to do birthdays first. It's one birthday, and it was mentioned on the show this week, so it makes this completely redundant. But our Carol Jackson was born, Sonia's mum.
Yes, I'm aware of her.
You're looking at me strangely, like, who's Carol Jackson?
No, I know who Carol Jackson is.
She's living her best life on a motorbike still.
She certainly is.
Surprise return, maybe? She's been mentioned twice, 2 episodes in a row.
She would have been really good friends with Daniel, wouldn't she, with Jean? Jean's friend. Shame she's not there, really.
She said she'd never come back to EastEnders, so...
Well, the actress.
Don't
blame her.
She's on big dramas now. So she was born 3rd of October 1962. Anyway, the episode I watched. All I have to say is one thing, and everyone will know what episode this is. You Ain't My Mother.
Yes, I am! Is that why you referenced it at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
That little clue for everyone.
Can't remember the beginning of the show at the moment.
Yeah, you said
so long ago.
You're not my shout out.
Oh yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that episode. 1st of October 2001 was when that episode is probably, apart from the Divorce Papers episode, it's probably like the most famous, quotable thing of EastEnders history. I
remember one night when I had a bit to drink, and like when we first started dating.
Right.
And I phoned you up, and I was talking to you about EastEnders, and I said,
do
you remember this conversation?
No.
I always remember this. I think we'd only been together for a week or so.
Did I say, I'm not just a bit of slag? I'm a taste of slag.
And at that moment, I knew I was in love.
You're the one.
yeah, you're it. But yeah,
You're my slag. Yes, I
am. You're my slag. But yeah, no, I remember I'd had too much to drink. I'd gone out with some friends, and I phoned you up, and I was like, "Oh, EastEnders," and I did that impression to you.
Oh, did you? Can't remember it.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
You're welcome.
Must have been a rubbish impression.
Wow, you've seen my impression since.
But anyway, that was like the end of the episode. But like the beginning during the episode is really fun. I watched the whole thing. It's Belinda's first appearance because it's Lynn's hen do and Gary's like stag do.
They have it at the Indian takeaway, don't they? They do. I don't think it's quite the argy bargy just yet.
No, they just call it the Indian restaurant, like generic.
Gina's name.
But like the cast of the hen do is so good. We've got Dot. She looks really like young and healthy as well. She's like in a little strappy top.
She's had a hard few years.
Lisa's there. Sharon, Pat, Peggy, all the Slater sisters. Belinda and Natalie.
My goodness, what a time to be alive.
What a good cast that was. I was just like, oh my god, that table.
What year?
2001. That's good.
That was good.
Ethel just died last year.
Yeah, well, that was a lovely story too. Yeah, but, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it was really good. And they were doing Belinda's first appearance, and Kat's like being protective over Zoe, and she announces she's going to leave, and they're playing party games, and they're all having fun.
Oh, that's so, because it's the guy, it's her uncle.
Yes, he's at the hen do. The stag do, sorry. Harry. He's invited Zoe to come work in his bar in Spain with her.
Yeah, but it was inappropriate with Kat when she was younger.
Yes, because he's Zoe's dad.
That's right. That's right. And so yes, and that's where the whole man on the moon thing came from. Yes,
she's looking at the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was abusing her.
But yeah, the hen do was so good, and they were doing party. They were playing spin the bottle.
Like you would.
Sharon was cackling in the background, drinking cocktails. They got Dot drunk.
Brilliant.
And they were just being all like tarty with each other and being horrible to Pat, calling her a this and that and married this. And Dot, they were doing telling secrets like I have never, and Dot had to tell a story. And she told like the most long, like heartfelt, depressing story ever, and the whole table just went, oh, it was like a real killjoy.
Yeah.
Of how she was dating Charlie, and she met a sailor, and you know it was windy and we were tucked up behind somewhere, and one thing led to another, and I'm sure you know Pat, you'll know it all led to this, and everyone was like, Dot, and she was like, yeah, he kissed me. And it was like, oh, it was so heartbreaking. She said, but I was Charlie was waiting at home for me, and I've never forgiven myself.
Oh,
and like the whole time, you know, like Charlie's been married and living with God knows who this whole time.
He was with her sister.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, Dot, God. But it was just, I didn't want to focus on just that one famous line at the end, because the whole episode's really good, and that cast of characters around that table.
I remember the build up to the, like you say, the end scene. I remember that very well, but the rest of it I don't remember. I don't remember Gary having a stag party at the same
I just
time.
fast forwarded those bits.
Oh, very enough. Okay.
Barry was there, Roy was there. All the women were saying like things they didn't like about their men, and as they were saying them, it kept panning over to like all the men about all the things they didn't like. And apparently, if Roy tugs on his tie, Pat said that means he's up for it.
What does she do? Wink on and tug on their earring, yeah.
And Sharon's like, well, what happens if he's not wearing a tie? She was like, well, you better watch out then.
Ooh.
So yeah.
What does he do? Just unbutton one of his shirt buttons. Shows a little bit of a curly grey hair that pops out.
But yeah, that was the most famous, one of the most famous episodes. But yeah, good times.
I'm
Cat at her peak.
The
Now
Slate
she
is at
stands
their
around.
peak. The EastEnders at its peak by the sounds of things, especially with a full female cast. I mean, it's so nice when EastEnders have a really strong female cast. I mean, that's, to me, that's EastEnders, a really strong, powerful...
And they were all different ages, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and they're all together, and there's you know, it's like they
hate each other, but they love each other.
That's it. There's a common interest, but at the same time, there's still those underlying hate for each other, and everyone always targets Pat. Which is always unfair.
She took it with good faith at the table, though. She loved it.
Well, I'm sure she did. Very good. Lovely. So this week, who won the week? So the choices were on our Twitter, our Instagram, and our Facebook group. Callum's Out and Proud.
Oh, yes. That will probably win.
Bex's Rock Bottom.
That will come second.
Detective Denise.
What's the other option?
And Join Up the Dots.
That's a bit cryptic, so people might not think what that's about. So maybe that came last.
I think you're right with the first two. They're the two strong ones, if you think about it.
Well, Callum will just win because there's like 1,000 accounts dedicated to Callum now.
And you're right to say that. Callum came first with 55% of the vote.
Oh dear.
Bex came second with 27%.
Okay.
Dot was third with 11%.
Good.
And Denise was last with 7% of the vote.
That's fine. That's understandable.
A few comments as well. Would you believe it?
Of course.
On Twitter, @BigGayAdventure said, Callum's story 100%, fighting for a shot at happiness and standing up to his dad, the reason he suppressed his feelings for so long. So empowered and uplifting, Tony Clay smashed it.
And his little face was so sweet at the end.
So happy and joyful. Also on Twitter, @Matt19020 said, I'm starting to wonder what it will take in the Kate Oates John Sen era to get a Julius theme. Far cry from the days when one was triggered by Ian whining about Pete not wanting him to be a chef.
I know. There have been a few this week where I thought could potentially be a Julius theme. But no, not giving it to us.
It's really, they're not doing it.
They're holding it out.
They really are.
Big.
They really are. Which is how it should be. Again,
I want one, especially with Ballum.
But this is the point. As soon as we get it, it'll be earned and it'll be deserved. We're not just getting thrown. I mean, the one opportunity, and we've talked about this 100 times before, was when Carmel left in the black taxi. That should have been a Julius theme.
Should have.
That was a big mistake. @AI36 said, Beck's storyline was really well done, but it's got to be Callum's coming out that wins. Tuesday's episode was so good, and the last sausage surprise was definitely a highlight too. I mean, I don't think we're going to get sausage surprise anymore. We're going to have to take it out of the cookbook that we're writing.
They'll bring it back when they need the ratings to go up again.
What, just have a shout?
Yeah, for the trailer.
I think what we should do is, as a punishment, just have you listen to Sausage Surprise for a whole hour on a loop, and just film you just sitting there in a room.
Oh, I thought you meant the listeners, not me.
I wouldn't let a listener be subjected to such an evil thing. Only you. @TheQualityDan says, Tony Clay deserves to be recognised in next year's awards season for continuously delivering, absolutely in awe of his talent.
We were there when he had his hat on. We were here saying how good he was back then. So
we were there for Halfway's Hat.
we championed Callum.
Mm-hmm.
So just remember that, everyone.
Yeah. Well, no, remember that Tony.
Oh yeah, Tony.
Yeah, give us a shout out, Tony.
Tony.
Hayley_Corral_XX says, I don't like the new brothers. Why is Ben always getting beaten up?
I know, every single character's beating him up now.
His head must just be a sponge. Like his brain just knocked around. Poor guy.
At least Kathy's there to tuck him in.
That's true. That is very true. I forgot about that. A few comments about Bex. Evelina Lindstrom said, this episode really changed its pace. Those last few minutes were very powerful and hard to watch. Emma Ray said, when I watched the Corrie suicide, I was inconsolable, but this didn't affect me at all. So there we go. Someone didn't.
Interesting. The Aidan one was good, but it was very different.
It was very different.
That was Kate Oates as well.
Yes, it was her last story, wasn't it? When it was basically her love letter to say goodbye to the Coronation Street fans. But his was very sudden, while Bex's was more of a build-up, I think. And I must admit, I watched the scene actually when he's in the Rover's Return, and he's in the table and he's got all his friends around him.
Yeah, they're all talking, but he's not really there.
But he's not there, yeah. So that was, I must say, that was interesting. Carlita Smith on our Facebook group said, Sonia is an overbearing, smothering personality, which makes her see her daughter as an emblem of her, rather than seeing her as her daughter.
Good point.
There you go. Take of that what you will. Here we go, guys. This is your one and only opportunity to find out how you can get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at EastEnders Week. You can find us on Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast, or you can join our Facebook group. Search EastEnders Weekly Podcast and click to join. You can find us also on YouTube by searching for EastEnders Weekly Podcast. And if you do find us and you like the content that you see, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to continue getting good content from Ben and myself.
Ooh.
You can email us, EastEndersWeekly. Yes. You can email us at eastendersweekly@gmail.com. We love receiving your emails. Give us your game ideas, any suggestions you'd like to hear on the show. Just send them in. You can also enter our competition on email, Twitter and Instagram. Each one, remember, is one entry. So you can get up to 3 entries this week. There'll be another question next week. And if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to review us and maybe give us a cheeky 5-star review. That'd be nice. Maybe a written one. Say why you've given us 5 stars, if indeed you have. And if you can't get us on Apple Podcasts, you can get us on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, or your favourite podcast.
Well, they are
app.
listening to us, so they must have found us.
Yeah, but they might be listening to us on YouTube and thinking, you know what? I'd rather
Don't like YouTube.
Yeah, I'd rather be listening to this on my train. You know what? I've got this new app. It's called Podbean. I'm going to listen to it on there. Or you might be a subscriber to Spotify.
Or Podcast Addicts. That's the one I use. So there.
Download us. Give us a DL. Go on. And don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast app you're using.
Well, there you go. That was this week's roundup of EastEnders.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We always enjoy your company.
And we'll see you all again next week.